With the filet of beef, I'm going to make a very traditional red chili sauce from a base of tomatoes and onion and garlic, and with these dried chilies. These are Pasilla Chiles. Now these are the chopped onions. So I put these in the skillet sort of like a bed. Then I'll add the garlic cloves on top of that, and then I'll add the tomatoes. And what we're going to do is put these in a very hot broiler, and we're going to essentially blister them, almost virtually char them. They'll blacken, and they'll take on a whole different variety of flavors, very smoky and caramelized. I'm going to toast the Pasilla chilies. Lightly toast them in this medium warm skillet. And the idea is to bring out more flavor in the chili. And you'll know when they're done because you start to smell them. They get very, very aromatic. And sometimes they'll even puff up a little bit. Now these are the broiled tomatoes. So these are going to transfer to the blender. Once you have all the onions and garlic and tomato in the blender, it's nice to add the chicken stock to the pan, because what you're going to have left in the pan is all those juices from the tomatoes that have sort of caramelized. Use the stock to deglaze the pan and put that in with the sauce too. Then the toasted Pasilla chilies, before we use them, we just break the ends off and just empty the seeds out. And once you have the seeds out, just break them into sort of smaller pieces and fit them into the blender. And then we're going to puree it. If you let it go for 30 seconds or a minute, eventually everything will be pureed very smooth. Now I'm going to season the beef with a little bit of salt and pepper. And then I'm going to take these to the stove and we'll cook them. Here I have a very hot skillet. I'm going to put just a little bit of peanut oil in, not much. And then I'm going to add the beef, very hot, to sear the fillets. So in this recipe, what we're doing is first we're searing the meat at a very high temperature to get that caramel brown flavor. So once they brown very nicely, turn these over and you can see how nicely they're seared. Do the same thing on the other side, let them brown, and then we'll take them out. Once it's been well seared on both sides, we then remove them from the skillet to a plate. So then in the same skillet, we'll add the puree of tomato and chili. And again, sort of lightly cook the sauce, picking up all the pan juices from the beef. Then I'll add a little bit of cilantro, about 2 tablespoons. Now at this point, I'm going to add the fillets, which are seared rare, back to the sauce and let them slowly cook in the sauce. This will take, on very low heat, just about 3 to 5 minutes to cook them to a nice medium rare. I'm going to finish this dish with a little avocado relish and some cotija cheese, grated, which is an aged cow milk cheese. Now I'm going to put the filet in the center of the plate and then spoon some of the wonderful sauce over the filet. Then I'm going to top the filet with a little fresh avocado relish. And the very last thing is the cotija cheese. You just sort of sprinkle over the top. Gives it a nice look and a nice flavor.